Hello, this is Derek Bertubin, week 2, Java 2, term 1308. And, I'm going to run through the code and talk about some of those things that that we need to cover, as far as thoughts on content providers, advantages, disadvantages, what I could have done differently, and list a few more things that can be clarified a little bit more. So hopefully I'll cover all those in the presentation. And really quick, just to run through the app, I'm using Droid at something. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start from here. And I don't know why that didn't save, but okay, so we got a zip code, and this zip code is going to be Castleberries. So we see that we get the current data, and this is actually, we go into the main activity, which, let's do this, and we can move this up here and this over here. If we look at the main activity here, we are actually going through everything we did last week, but we've added some logic to handle this spinner here. And so the spinner down here, we have this, let's see here, we have this, where is it at? Down here, the spinner selector. We go ahead and predefine these options right down here in the spinner, and this is basically going to go off today's date. The API corresponds with today's date and gives us an option for a 5-day forecast, so we go ahead and do that. So that presented us with an array that would fit kind of like the framework that was displayed in the museum example. And since that call actually gives us the current, I figured I'd keep the current and also give the option for the 5-day forecast, and then to do the individual URI call. We'll see how that I support that. But basically, we use the spinner. We use that spinner to pass an index, and this index, we're going to see how it works. But also what I did is I did this similar in last classes. The final app is basically to call an additional activity to display the information. It was the easiest thing to do for me, as opposed to doing maybe a view flipper, to just go ahead and create an additional layout and logic on that. And we're going to take a look at that. So let's go ahead and, so we got current, let's do 5-day, and go ahead and get the weather for that. So the option was 1. URI here, we're going to pass over to forecast. And if option is 0, weather content URI, weather content, or weather data content URI is going to pass items. And we get everything in that array. And so we go ahead and query that. As such, we set up the logic over here to go ahead and, this could have been done in the main activity, but this was the easiest way for me to do it here. And it seems to be pretty quick as far as I've seen. So I like that. I can, all the data is stored in one spot. And we use the weather service to feed the content provider, and we call that in the main activity, or the content provider, and then we use the content provider to pull the information in another activity, so that it doesn't impair the activity from starting. So that's good. And then the information updates. And you can see the logic. Basically, since we're doing, and I'm going to show you here, we have individual, let me go back, we have individual days, so August 16th, take a look at that. And the logic here, basically, if if the high array, because I knew that the cursor is going to go through and basically if I pass this argument, this URI, anything 1 through 4, if I pass this argument, it's going to give back just a single item. So it's going to build up the cursor with just one item, and when we go through this for loop, it's only going to be one thing. So if there's 1, and if it's not 5, basically, then I'm just going to pass this through, get elements at index 0, since there's only one object. Here I use this option index that we pass through over here to determine the URI in order to use the to pull the right date. And the date is from a get date method down here, because I had trouble formatting the string in order to get it to how I wanted it to display. So since the next 5 days is concurrent with the API, I just got today's date and then ran it out 5 days 5 days ahead, so that I could have the corresponding strings. But yeah, that was it. I mean, the app works very well. And just to show you a couple things here, let's do 90210 because that's the only other thing that I have. We can get current weather, we can get 5-day forecast, and it updates. It looks good. We can do individual, the 16th, cool. We can do the 19th, and bam. And just to confirm that 19, let's do get weather, the 19th. So it works, definitely works. I also use multiple activities, as you can see here. So I even went into, I realized after I completed the project that that's part of next week's assignment. So I'm a little ahead on that. But yeah, that's my app. Hope you guys liked it. I'll see you next week.